Hey, welcome everybody. We're about to get started with this show. Go on and share the link and invite your friends. Tell them to come on in so we can start this show. All right, there's a link right there that's posted. Just click on it. It's going to take you to my YouTube. It's a fresh channel I'm starting. Do me a favor, click on that and subscribe to the YouTube. Yeah. My name is Pastormax. We are finally here. We finally are in the place where we said we would be, creating our podcast. So go on and join us. Tell a friend. We'll get started in just a few minutes. I'll see you, girl, too. If you like our theme music, do me a favor and comment. Go on and share, subscribe as well. There's a link up there that sends you to our YouTube where you can subscribe. We don't have that many subscribers yet because it's new, but I'm depending on you guys, all right? And I promise you, I'll put my DJ voice on today. If you like the theme music, Lewis Mosley put this together for us, and want to show him some love. It is available for sale anywhere where music is sold, iTunes, name it. Lewis Mosley. He might be on here a little bit later. If you guys want to join the conversation at some point, you can call in at 661-234-6566. That is 661-234-6566. You're welcome to call in and you will be on the air. All right. All right, everybody. My name is Pastormax. Today, we're actually going to officially launch this podcast. We did some of it yesterday, and it actually turned out pretty cool. We had quite a few people log in. We had a wonderful conversation, and we hope to continue that today, right? But before we get started, I will let you know one thing. Yeah, I am a pastor, but I will say this to you. This is not a church program. Now, with that being said, I'm simply letting you guys know that if you are a hypocrite, then now it's time to go. Very simple. If you're close-minded and you can't agree to disagree, if you're God's first cousin, if you're Virgin Mary's auntie, this podcast is not for you. Go ahead and leave now. But if you guys can be adults about things and move forward and understand that there's life after church, and that's what we're going to discuss today. If that's you, might as well stay. Share the link. We're about to get started in about 30 seconds. This is the Pastormax Show. So, today we got a very cool show, and this is because we want to talk about some things that I actually see happening within the church. And if you ask me, it's kind of hypocritical. And so we want to get to the bottom of that. We want to talk about that. We want to share our opinions, and if you guys want to chime in, call in. Be live on the conversation. Again, write down the number 661-234-6566. That's 661-234-6566. Welcome to call in, and we will have you live. Now, very important to understand that this show is grown and sexy. That doesn't mean we're going to be talking on things that we should not be speaking of, but we just may. There's a way to speak about everything, right? And that's what we want to do here today. We can't talk about these things openly, even as believers, then we are either don't understand the path that we walk in, we're fake, phony, and hypocritical. We're living under a rock, or just are clearly liars. You guys got to understand that God wouldn't tell us to die daily and pick up our cross and carry it and follow him if he didn't know that we were going to make mistakes. So today's show is really about that. It's really about discussing a lot of the personal stuff that we actually have to deal with on an everyday basis. These are things that a lot of times as believers we refuse to face or talk about. We always want to pretend like these are not things that we go through, but the truth of the matter is we do, but we never discuss them. And one of the main things that I wanted to discuss today was, why is it that the single rate just seems to be going up? It seems the count just continues to go up. Doesn't matter what we do, what happens, it seems like the count is just going up. Now, we're supposed to be so much like God and so much like Christ, and we're supposed to be promoting love in a sense. But even our rate of being single and divorced is going up and has gone up. Said in the last 3 years, people just living together, not being married, just living together went from 19% to 34%. Figure that. They're living together but not married. And the rate of divorce has already grown to the 84%. So many independent people out here. Everybody wants to be independent. Everybody wants to be powerful. They want to be kings and queens. And in the end, what happens when you leave this earth and don't have anybody to share absolutely anything with? This is what we're dealing with. And it's going to get worse because the generations following us, they don't even know what the word love is. Not at all. They see each other, they meet each other, and they're ready to jump in the sack. Don't care. And a lot of that type of attitude is starting to trickle into our very homes, whether we like it or not, simply because living under our roof are those kids that have grown up that way. They're establishing that type of generation. It's not even the new millennium children anymore. It's something else. The first topic that I want to speak about today, as it relates to dating, how much as a woman do you expect, or should a man, or you believe that a man should spend on the very first date? Talking monetary, we're talking finances here. Meet a person, you go out on a first date with them. How much do you believe that it is appropriate for a man to spend on a first date? I'm very curious about that. What's the number that you think a man should spend? This is important because it is no secret that if you go out on a date, thank you so much. If you go out on a date with somebody and the guy is spending a substantial amount of money, you know he's expecting something. That's just how it works. And it's crazy because it even works like that inside of the church. A lot of guys, because everybody that's in church ain't saved, people. Let's get that straight. And a lot of people in the church are very in tune with their flesh. I want to make that very clear. I do not want to go without that being mentioned. You go out on a date with a gentleman, so he says he is. At some point, he's going to expect something, especially if he's attracted to you, if you're a beautiful person, and he's spending some decent money. Then the woman comes and they say, no, we're not doing that, but I am eating your lobster.
Where they do that at?
Yeah, this is what we deal with. We're dealing with a specific time now, particularly after COVID, where it just seems like the rate of dating is going down. It's going down. No one wants to get to know each other anymore. No one wants to know absolutely anything about each other. They just get together, they go out, they're in bed. There's no goal, there's no aspiration, there is not even a thought of being married. Married is so far. As a matter of fact, if you speak to someone today, male or female, and you mention the word marriage, I want to get married, I want to get serious with you, the first thing they do is, whoop, they put up the cross. And what do? They start walking away. Their attitude is right away is,
oh my God.
That's how they feel.
Oh my God.
Why is that? We all know that man controls marriage and women control intimacy. That's just how it works. A woman can't get married unless a guy proposes, and a man can't be intimate unless the woman allows him to, right? But all of these things lead to marriage, and this is why I believe that as we unfold the questions, it's going to start touching places that a lot of us, if not all of us, are completely familiar with. If you're God's first cousin, you got to go. This is not for you, because we're going to have an adult conversation. How else do you expect couples in the church to get married if we are not allowing them to date? They can't just meet each other and be like, hey man, you seem cool, let's get married. It doesn't work like that. They have to go out. They have to spend time together. They have to go out to eat. They have to go out to, let them go out to dance. There's nothing wrong with dancing. We've gotten to a point in church where we just feel like we have to control people's life, and the spirit of control is rebellion. It's witchcraft. Allow people to live. Let them be. Let them enjoy each other. We do not allow anybody inside of the church to date. But if they go out and they make their mistakes, then we're very quick to point those things out.
Repeat that one more again.
Why is that? We do not allow people to live, but yet we want to live. If they want to go out and hang out and go eat and go to Chili's or Outback or Red Lobster or Olive Garden, one of these places, and they order a margarita, it's a problem.
Oh my God, taking it out of context.
It's a problem, but yet the Bible says it's okay to drink. It never said you couldn't. It just said don't get drunk. We, as believers, we begin to take so much stuff out of context, and it is exactly what makes people want to run so far. They want to run, and they don't want to look back. They do not want to look back. They do not want to turn into a pillar of salt, because we're so judgmental. We have to allow people in the church to date. First and foremost, it's not your job to sit there and control what they do, when they do it, if they decide to go out, if they want to date, if they want to go eat, if they want to go to the movies. It's not our decision. If they decide that they want to go and hang out and hold hands, that's their business. We have to get to a point where we get out and stay out of people's business. We're too busy always trying to control everything. We possess a spirit of control that, frankly, is not cool. And believe me, it'll help you out. Because if you get to a point where you meet someone that you want to date and you guys want to go out, people won't criticize you. But all you have to do is not criticize either, right? My name is Pastormax. This is the Pastormax Show. We're talking about the use of being able to date in a church. Go out. When was the last time that you guys met someone in a church and actually went out without being criticized? As a matter of fact, for a lot of the leaders, when was the last time that someone met in your church and you got the opportunity to marry them? It trips me out because so many leaders don't even know how to marry somebody. They never have. They've never experienced that. I wonder why. You have to let people live. We're called to feed people's spirit, and we're called to elevate people and enhance people's spiritual life, but we're not called to control people's life. That's what we're not called to do. But yet, in most churches, that's what happens. This is why the rate of people getting married is so low. This is why the rate of divorce is so high. People don't want to get to know each other no more. They're afraid of what others are going to say because the world has gotten too used to being in everybody's business. The question is, if you date a man and you go out, is there a particular amount of money that you feel that a man should spend on the first date? And we're really talking about the lack of dating in the church. It seems like if two people in the church meet and they begin to date, everybody in the church is going to criticize them. They're not going to let them live. They're not going to let them establish a relationship. And this is why the rate of marriage as it relates to the church is virtually dead. It matches that of the secular world. We do not allow people to fall in love. And this is why a lot of ministers don't even know how to marry people. They have no idea what it is to do that. Is there a certain amount of money that you guys feel that a man should spend on the first date? How many of you guys feel that there is a certain amount of money that a man should spend? Is there an amount? Because you guys do know if a man spends a certain amount of money, he's expecting something in return. We know that, right? He's definitely going to expect something in return. Women, you like to act like you don't know this.
Where they do that at?
We got to stop that. If the guy lets you decide where he's taking you and you choose Red Lobster, you got to expect that he's expecting something. That's just how humans work. The church will be upset. But the truth of the matter is that we're human. And this show, again, is not about, we're not preaching here today. We're talking from adult to adult, and we're pointing out some things that we're dealing with inside of the church. We're dealing, not only in the church, but overall, period. This is what we're dealing with. This is what people deal with. This is why relationships are down. Divorces are up. People wanting to get married, that doesn't exist no more. The word love, probably the last time you heard someone say I love you was back in the dinosaur days. I remember when we were sitting back writing love songs, impressing women that we wanted to date and vice versa. Getting to know each other. Going out, setting up dates. I remember when we'd get together and we'll double date, triple date. Remember those days? Just so that we wouldn't make it boring. What happened to that? My brother Christopher says the first date should be Dutch. Okay. He believes that the first date should be Dutch. It should be the man pays for half, the woman pays for half. Or the man pays for her meal, she pays for his, or he pays for his own, and she pays for her own. And by the way, that does not mean, ladies, that you should bring your homegirl and your homegirls with you to put his pockets through the test. Because y'all will do that. You know you will. My brother says that the first date should be Dutch to establish if there should even be a second date. If you agree with that, put hearts on it. Put thumbs up on it. The church should stay out of folk business all day long. You know what I got to say about that?
Repeat that one more again.
The church should definitely stay out of folk business. Absolutely. The church is too involved in everyone's business. We do not let people live. It is not our job to control people. That is a spirit of rebellion. That is witchcraft. Allow people to live. Allow people to make their mistakes. It is our job to guide people, but stay out of their business. This is why people can't grow as people or even in their spiritual lives. Because everyone is trying to control you like a chess piece. Then my brother says the church is stay out of people's business. They're too busy trying to live vicariously through others. Come on now. Matter of fact, you know what?
Shanda rababa.
Let's hoop to that. It seems to be the truth. The church is always in everybody's business but their own. They want to control you. They want to control what you do, what you say, when you say it, where you go, who you hang out with. You could be falling in love with somebody and they don't like that person, and the first thing they're going to do is call you to the side and tell you leave that person alone and start talking about the person as if they know that person on that level, and they really don't. Come on now. That is not cool. So my brother says that the first date should be Dutch. My next question to you is, does a man necessarily have to make more money than you, ladies? Do you feel that a man has to make a certain amount of money to even date you? This is important because everybody has standards. Everybody has a certain idea of what and who they would date. And as a result, they have a projection in their mind of what kind of life they would like to eventually live. And it takes money to live. But some people have the type of attitude where they come and they work together and they build together. Thank you for the stars. While some people don't. Some people just living life day by day as it comes. They don't care what happens, where life goes, where life takes them. They just roll the dice, and wherever it falls, it falls. If it falls on a mistake, oh well. And if they happen to get lucky, they're cool with it. This is what we deal with. Does a man have to make a certain amount of money? Does he have to make more money than you for you to give him a chance? And, because a lot of times, you got to understand, like, if a man doesn't look a certain way, he doesn't meet a certain description or criteria, or he doesn't drive a certain car. Recently, I was talking to someone on the phone, and we were just having just a normal conversation. A lot of people call me for advice and spiritual advice, and they'll open up and they'll share with me. And they said to me that they never get approached by the man that they want. And so what stood out to me was the man that they want. They already had in their mind a vision of what this person had to look like. And a lot of times you overlook the person that may be for you. I'll give you an example. If you walk in Vons or Rite Aid or Walmart or one of these places and you see the guy over the counter, you're not even looking twice his direction. So the last place you're going to look. But what makes that guy unqualified to be with you? And I say the guy because in most cases with us men, we know what we like. We don't care if you work at McDonald's. If we like you, we're going after you. Bottom line. But women, they see things a little different. Women want to look at a man and they want to make sure that we drive a certain car. We dress a certain way. We smell a certain way, which I agree with the smell now. They want to make sure that every time we go somewhere, we're spending a certain amount of money, or at least it looks like money is not a problem. Well, are you dating Donald Trump? Now, don't get me wrong, because if a guy really is into you, he'll be willing to spend any amount of money on you. But as a guy, it always feels good to reciprocate as well. It feels good when a woman acknowledges the man and does the same. It feels good when a guy has the intentions to pay for something and the woman says, you know what, I got it. We're like, what? Huh? These are the things that we look for in a woman. We don't always want to be the ones spending money. We want to feel like, as my brother Tate said, there's a form of Dutch in there. There's I got it this time, you got it that time. This is how you build, people. This is how you build. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself wearing somebody out, just making them feel like they're used. You wearing them out to the point where they're just tired. And then here's another thing. A lot of you want us to just constantly pick up the phone and be the one to call you and be the one to call, as if we don't have schedules that require making the money that you want to spend. Yeah. then you don't pick up the phone. You know, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but life is getting to a point now where men are starting to look at relationships completely different. Men are starting to look at relationships in such a way that the tolerance level is starting to come down. Yeah. The tolerance level is coming down. I call you, you don't call me. You know what? Hey, I'm done. I'm cool. That's happened with me. Yeah. You know why? Because I know my value. I can't speak for other men, but I know my value. Always have. I know my value. If you guys saw my inbox and you saw my request list, you would trip out. Yeah. I know anybody could just say that. But I understand my value. I know who I am. Look at this. These are all requests that I have not answered. And if you notice, they're all women. And I can keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going. These are, I haven't confirmed. These are requests coming my way. I can just keep going and going and going and going. It is ridiculous. I know my value. I know what I bring to the table. Us men are getting to a point now in our lives where we're tired of chasing. This is why relationships are no longer going anywhere. If we don't feel appreciated, we won't make you feel appreciated. And this has nothing to do with church. This is just people to people, a man to a woman to a man, trying to get to know each other, trying to get past dating so that they can eventually get to a place where they may see each other in a different way and look at marriage. Nobody wants it. But the man is getting to a point now where he understands his value. You guys know I'm telling you the truth. There's things that you used to be able to get away with a guy that you just can't seem to get away with it anymore. He doesn't care anymore. Ladies, you guys have created monsters. You guys are making men get to a point where we don't want to plan our everyday around you anymore. Simply because you're not making time for us, so why should we make time for you? This is the reality of dating today. This is what we all have to deal with today. Some women still have this thing about themselves that they want a man to make more money than them or a certain amount of money. And some women feel like a man should spend a certain amount of money on a first date. And my brother said it should be Dutch. And comment. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what you think. I'll read your comments out. If you guys want to call in as well, you can call in 661-234-6566. I'll answer and you'll be live on the broadcast. Sister Denise says that when a man finds a good thing, seek her out. Invest into it. I personally think it should go both ways because a lot of times a good man is standing before you and you're allowing a good man to just go right through your fingers like water. Whatever happened to people just get to know each other and there's chemistry. And once you find that chemistry, you build on that chemistry. My next question to you women is, what is a decent amount of money a man should bring home, keyword, consistently? All of these things are extremely important. These are things that will make or break a relationship.
Repeat that one more again.
Absolutely. These are all things that will make or break a relationship. What is a decent amount of money that a man should bring home consistently? What is that number that you feel that you can take to manage the household? Because a lot of women won't date you unless you make a certain amount of money. Absolutely. For me personally, it's always been a turnoff. I've been divorced for going on 3 years now. Those of you that know me know my story. And although I am good friends with the mother of my children, I can't begin to tell you how much I needed the space to gain understanding of who I am again. I had lost sight of who I was. I totally had forgotten who I was. I had the answer to what time I go home, what am I doing, why am I doing it, when am I doing it, why I can't do it, or even if I was doing something for God, why? Yeah. Now I'm super cool. It's 8 o'clock LA time, and I'm in the studio here speaking to you wonderful people, having a great time, speaking substance. I don't have to look to my right and feel vibes. I don't have to feel like I am being controlled. But even though I'm having the time of my life building and establishing myself all over again after divorce, do I really want to live my life alone? I just turned 52 a few weeks ago on the 2nd. Thank you for all those that sent your love. Do appreciate you for that. And people still sending me happy birthdays as if I turned 52 yesterday. And as we begin to get older, we start looking at life a little different. There's a period of time where being single feels good. But then there's a point where being single no longer feels like being single. It feels like being alone. And for some of us, we get to a point where we recognize, we grow up, we recognize what life is really supposed to be. Some people just want to be alone.
Where they do that at?
I don't want to be alone. I don't care to be single. Because after a certain age, being single is no longer being single. It's being alone. When you get to a certain age, it's about establishing life as a whole. It's about establishing future. You get to a certain age and you realize you still have some years to live and you want to make the best of them. You want to take advantage of those years. You don't want to live out the rest of your years just doing nothing. If you're in your 50s, you guys got to look at life a little different. We lived over 100 years already. That's a long time. The average person today is passing away at 45. You know, a lot of them are going at 35 from heart attacks. That means stress. At 35, 40, we made it to 50. A blessed person today makes it to 70. I am 52. That means that if the numbers are accurate, which most times numbers don't lie, I got another 18 years to go. If I'm blessed. 18 years will go like this. I am not going to waste my last 18 years, if that is my number, if numbers hold up, on either wasting my life away, living alone, not establishing a legacy, arguing with people, not giving my life to God, and dealing with someone that doesn't appreciate me. It's not going to happen. My brother Christopher says, I totally feel you. I was married twice. Always making my life about someone else. That's what we do. Let me intervene in my brother's comment. A good man will make his life about someone else. A good man would put his woman first. See, a man that does not care would not do that. A man that doesn't care would put himself first. A good man, you rarely see him with Jordans. You rarely see him with all of this new stuff, but you see his woman rocking everything. A good man always puts the woman and the children first. A lot of times you misunderstand what you see. You see a guy that doesn't have the latest and the greatest, and you associate him with, oh, girl, no, not him, girl. And then you see somebody that got the latest and the greatest, and you're like, girl, he got it going on. But the truth of the matter is, in most cases, he's going home to his mama's house. Yeah. And the guy that doesn't have anything simply doesn't have anything because he's putting his woman first, his family first. He's making sure she dresses nice. He's making sure that the bills are paid. There's water in the house. There's everybody's cell phone bills are together. There's cable in the house, internet in the house. Because nowadays, if there's no internet in the house, kids are losing their mind. Nowadays, if there's no internet in the house, kids are going crazy. But a lot of times we associate a good man with bad. Good men take their lives and they kind of lay it down, much like what Christ did, so that you can live. Good men revolve their life and they make it all about the other person, while the other person is busy being self-centered, not appreciating you, not caring about you. They see that you're trying, and trying is just never enough. Yeah. So my brother says it was deeper than I realized, and it always is. I was not in love with me. Good men can relate. I felt the same way. And this is why this is great. In fact, we should do a men's group where we get together and we sit down and we talk at a round table. Even this, I mean, I got many mics. I got 4 setups here. We sit down and we have these discussions so that women can actually see a man's true perspective without battering them, right? My brother says he wasn't in love with himself. It was deeper. He was investing everything into his marriage, as he should have, but he was neglecting himself. The problem that we face when us men do that, which I was a victim of that very thing too, and not a victim to her, a victim to myself. I was a victim of that very same thing, because when we do that, then we stop loving ourselves and we forget that we are valuable. And then we start falling into the hand and the idea that other people want us, the notion that other people want us to be and do, and the things that they want us, how they want us to act, how they want us to breathe, what time we go to sleep, what time we got to get up, we begin to start acting like robots. And this is where unhappiness begins, because someone is busy controlling you secretly and you don't even realize it. And he says he didn't love himself. And the cold thing about it is he did not realize that. Then he says, then after my second divorce, he got full custody of his 2 youngest kids and been single for 16 years. And honestly, watch this. I don't even have to read the rest, but I can guarantee you that what I'm about to read is probably this. I love it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I wouldn't change it for the world. And you know why I know? Because I felt the same way. Let's see. He said, and honestly, I love it. I've learned so much about me. Now at 58, man, you look good for, man. Bro, let me shake your hand. 58, man? He says, now at 58, I live with no regrets. It feels good to just worry about how your kids are being brought up. It feels good to worry about, and not even worry, because you know your responsibilities. Get up, get out, handle your business, make sure there's a roof over your kids, make sure there's food for them, there's clothes for them. Now you have money to buy for yourself. You're able to establish, learn you, love you, and watch this. And now, when the right person comes along and you notice it, then you can bring that person in and be good for them because you're good for yourself. I don't know if you felt this way, my brother, but at one point I felt like I was no good for no one because I felt like I wasn't even good for myself. And sometimes it just feels like you're being completely used. Women, I say this to say because a lot of times, I know last night we were doing a live, and a lot of you guys came on and started commenting. And a lot of you were basically saying that, you're tired of men living off of you, squatting off of you, taking advantage of you. But the truth of the matter is you control intimacy. You control who you let in your space. So at what point did you not see that this was not the one for you and part ways to make room for who God really has for you? Because if you allow God to put the right person in your space, He's going to value you. He's going to take care of you. He's going to honor you. But as a result of how the new tradition and the new millennial women and women of the modern women, the way you guys operate, it's starting to make us men feel like we don't even want it anymore. We can do without it. We can do without it. We can absolutely do without it. 661-234-6566. 661-234-6566 if you guys want to call in and speak live. Denise says, a man that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor. Absolutely. But at the same time, and I said this last night, I'll say it again. The Bible says a man that findeth a wife. That means that every woman is not wife material. If we have to go out and look for you and search for you, that means that every woman is not an option for marriage. We now start looking at women different. You guys got to understand that you guys don't like younger men. You guys like established older men like myself and Brother Tate. And there's a certain criteria that you look for in a man. But the type of man that you want has gotten to a point now where we don't care. You're making us get used to being single. You're making us get used to loving our space to the point where you may come visit and then we looking at the time like, you ready to go? And then that makes you feel unvalued. Meanwhile, everybody that's pitching in your ear are single. None of them are married. My brother says, thank you. I'm in the process of adopting 19-month-old twin girls that I've had since they were 3 months. Beautiful. Ladies, my brother should not have to be raising children by himself. And, you can't sit there and say, oh, well, what kind of person is he? No, because let me tell you what kind of person is he. The type of person is raising his children on his own. He's the type of person that's looking to give a good life to other children. He's investing his life into children. He's giving his life, and that's what kind of person he is. How many men are willing to do that? That brings up my next point, and that is, does race matter? Because it's getting to a point where us men may begin to start looking outside of our race, because we've searched so long amongst our kind and we can't find that wife. God never said in the Bible that that wife that we find is going to be of our complexion and color and race, and no. He said a woman. He said a man that finds a woman. And that's important because it seems like the submissiveness that men look for in a woman. I mean, you guys look for providers and you look for protection and strength. We look for submissiveness and we look for beauty and we look for people that are honorable. And it seems like the submissiveness that men in general look for are easily found in other cultures. And that's a danger because men, we can get along with other cultures and other women. Women, y'all can't even get along with each other. Y'all see men, not black men, white men. Y'all see men as a problem. This is why y'all not marrying and not dating. And if you date, it's just a whatever thing. One thing we know about our black women is that they like to date our black men. They prefer a black man, should I say. But very soon you're going to lose your black men to other cultures simply because they're willing to do what we're not doing. I mean, when is the last time that you've seen a Hispanic lady not be submissive or divorce or disrespect her husband. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but how often? When was the last time you seen a Chinese lady or an Orient lady disrespect her husband, leave her husband, divorce her husband? When was the last time you seen an Indian do the same thing, or a Caucasian person? You don't see that in other cultures. When was the last time you seen them divorce their husbands? Other cultures. But we can testify all day long about our black culture, divorcing and leaving their husbands. My sister says, prosperity, but we women feel that as well. Like men just don't want to mature and grow up. I've dealt with men that are around my age, 48, and still want to have their cake and eat it too. But see, prosperity, the difference is that you control the cookie. We're all grown here. You control intimacy. You show them that you're not interested and they're not getting nowhere near the cookie jar. They gonna walk. And you're gonna make room for the right person. Us men, we control marriage. We have to come to you. We have to get on our knee. We have to ask you to marry. That's the appropriate thing for us to do. But you control intimacy. You control that. So in other words, if you're dealing with those kind of people, you have the power to release them. But what's happening is that women seem not to know the difference between that type of guy versus this type of guy. This is why that type of guy ends up putting his hand in the cookie jar while this guy is single, looking. No one's paying attention to him. He's still out there. He's looking for someone like you, but he can't find you because the people that you are attracting happen to be that 48-year-old guy that wants his cake and wants to eat it too. At some point, you can tell if a guy is like trying to be the old dude in the club. If you're that age and you still trying to play games, come on, it's obvious when a guy, because usually a guy that is that age and trying to play, it stands out like a sore thumb. It stands out. And that's the important thing. It's about knowing your worth. But here's the thing. You know your worth. But the truth is, does every woman know their worth? Do they? Do they understand their worth? See, you're unique. You know your worth, but they don't. This is why they keep repeating the process. This is why they keep making a mistake. This is why they feel that they don't need a man. This is why they feel that they don't have to get married. This is why they feel that they can take the kids and give them to the husband and say, take the kids so I can go out here and have fun and deal with this person that got nothing going on. Just because he knows how to fool me. You know, I'm one of those people. Thank you so much for the stars. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm one of those people that naturally, I can dress up and handle myself. I know how to conversate. I've had a lot of money in my lifetime. People that know me personally to tell you that I'm not making this up. I've touched millions of dollars. I invest wisely. I mean, you guys see my investments here and what I'm doing and how, I mean, the average guy doesn't do stuff like what I do. You have to have a different type of mentality and character and pizzazz about life. But I wasn't always like this. The only reason I became like this is because growing up, I grew up around people in the record industry, a lot of rich people. And so they taught me. But prior to me getting to that point, I baby boy was a player. I had women, my 19s, my 20s, my baby mamas will tell you. Brother was no joke. I had women. What ended up happening was all of a sudden, I ended up having girls. God gave me girls, my children. All of my exes were celebrities, and my baby mamas, they're all celebrities, except my last one. But all my baby mamas are television personalities, every last one of them. And I was out there, I was a dog. I was a dog. What am I saying? What I'm saying is, if I wanted to take that attitude and that experience and revisit it, it wouldn't be hard to take the person that I am. And when people see me right off the gate and I'm dressed up and I'm clean, I clean up good now.
Yes, sir.
I sure do. They say, man, that guy got money. As soon as they look at me, they be like, that's a man. He got money. Man, he's mature. He's, decent. I'm not a bad looking guy. So, and then I could use my old life and really play people big time. But we, at some point, got to mature. We got to get to a place in our life where we say, okay, that was a phase. So if you get to 48 and you still doing that, then that's a person usually that when they were younger, they got no play. So now that they older and they're more mature and they got a little money because they stable and women are attracted to older men, they say, wow, this is what it was like. And they're trying to play that. But you have the power to push that to the side. She says, I don't deal with them once I see they are like that. I'm not desperate, as you shouldn't be. You should not be. You're an attractive sister. Christ made us all the same. God made us all the same. He gave us all that. But once you begin to live, then you begin to establish the differences. Once you begin to live your life, you begin to decide if you're going to continue being that person that Jesus Christ made, or you're going to change and become this person that your flesh wants to be. So we end up taking different paths. And even though Christ made us all the same, we are not the same because we've chosen throughout our lives. In my 52 years of living, I've chosen a different path through life. And throughout I've chosen many paths. Now, I so just happened to be called and be chosen into a path that I did not choose, but I couldn't run from it. Because at some point I had to understand that God had a plan. And as much as I didn't want to understand it, he took me and he shook me and he said, this is what you are. This is who you're going to be. And whether you like it or not, you're going to do what I said you're going to do. Much like what he did with Jonah. Jonah tried to run. But God stepped in and he said, no, you can't run. You're one of those few people that must obey. You have no choice but to obey. And that forced me into a place that I've learned to love and I've gotten used to. So now my skin has become so thick in this that now no matter what people throw my way, no matter what they try to do to me, no matter what they try to say about me, it means absolutely nothing to me. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me at all. Doesn't hurt me. Doesn't bother me. It does not affect me one bit. Now in my life, I'm in a place where I feel so comfortable with who I am that I thank God every day for choosing me. I thank God every day for picking me to be what he's molding me, because he's not through yet. So God makes us all the same. But eventually throughout life, what happens is you're going to make your decisions. You're going to make your changes. And you won't end up being the same. This is why that part that makes us not the same is what determines whether we make it into heaven or not. For those that believe, does a woman know if she is willing to go to the next level with a man? And if not, at what point is it safe to say that she is? By another level, we're not necessarily talking intimacy. It can just be moving forward to being serious. Because I'm going to let you know now, women, men, we not trying to date for 7 years. That's not our get down. We are not trying to realize that we are into each other and 6 years from now, we still in the same place, boyfriend, girlfriend, going out to eat, going out to lunch, calling each other periodically. And that I'm just keeping the hands down. That's going to run a man away. Shanda rababa. That will run a man away. Quick in a hurry. Guy's gone. Out of here. There has to be some progress. There has to be some evolution in a relationship. There has to be that you start here and now you're here. And a year from now, you're here. And a year after, you're here. And you're moving forward. Men need to know that at some point, you two have come together to establish relationship goals. I'm talking about real men. At some point, we need to establish relationship goals. If you keep us and you keep stringing us along, after a while, we lose interest. After a while, as beautiful as you may be, as incredible as you may be, as a prize that you may be, after a while, we say, okay, you know what? I'm out. You know why? Because... See, Vicky saying, oh, Lord. But it's the truth. Because at some point, we have to get to a place where we begin to establish relationship goals. Because if you can get your man to a point where you're establishing goals, you got one. Let that be the indication. If you're dealing with a guy and you never take the time to, you don't get to the place, you don't even get to the vicinity where you guys can talk about establishing goals. That means a future, whether it be financial, spiritually, emotionally, intimacy, with the kids, and getting the kids to college, whether they're your kids or not, whether they're, an extended family. It's about getting together and saying, hey, look, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to get the kids to college, we got to buy this other house, invest into this, get this thing done, sell this, put money away, so that when the kids... If you can't get to that place with a man where you are now establishing relationship goals, then all you're doing is playing. You're doing the same thing that you was doing in junior high school and high school. The only difference is you're in your 50s. You're in your 40s. And you know what?
Where they do that at?
And the truth of the matter is, that's the same thing women want. Women want to get to a point where they're establishing relationship goals with somebody. Because if you can get to that level of establishing goals, then you know you got one. You got a keeper. You got somebody worth investing your life into. Because I don't know about you, but investing my life means investing everything I got. That means my finances. That means my heart, my life, my intelligence, my wisdom, my access, my resources. Yeah. Girl, I would take a brick and kill a rock. Yeah. But if you can't get to that point, then all you're doing is playing. You're just playing. So are you establishing relationship goals with who you're talking to? Are you even concerned about it? Is that even on your radar? Because some of you guys are so comfortable living the way you're living and doing what you're doing that, you're just like, hey, I'm good here. I'm straight. I don't care about nothing else. I'm cool where I'm at. You know what? Hey, I'll date. We can get together and hang out. And my personal life is nobody's business. But at the end of the day, these are the indications to let a man know, is he wasting his time? Especially if you've been talking for over a year or 2 years, That seems to be normal nowadays, right? You got to get to a point where you're establishing goals. Because if you're not establishing goals with a person, then that person is not for you, because that person is not taking you serious. Now, understand what I'm saying. You just can't establish goals with everybody, because some of these cats, come on now, let's keep it 100. Brothers, some of you guys, man, are losers, man. Some of you guys don't want to step it up and better yourselves. Some of you guys actually want to live off of the women that you deal with. But women, at the same time, when you meet a guy that he's constantly progressing, constantly chasing, even if he's failing, you can't win without failing. Failure is part of winning. And you see him trying and trying and trying, then you know, hey, you know what? I may be in a better position. Let me help him, because I love him. I can see myself with him. Let me invest into him. And I'm not talking about financial. I'm talking about sometimes all that matters is your support. Sometimes the only thing that matters is you stepping up and saying, hey, you know what? If you fall, I got you. Sometimes the only thing that matters, I know with me at least, what drives me is when I can sit down and talk to a partner and say, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm up to. This is the plan I have. This is, and just to have someone to listen and sit back and say, you know what, you can do it. You're very smart. You can do it. No, you know what? So-and-so trying to play you. Don't fall for it. Just that back and forth dialogue to me is enough support to just elevate me to the next level. Do you believe this is possible? And have you ever experienced encountering a good man and messing things up with feminist power? Is that possible? You meet a guy, he's a good guy, you know he's a good guy. This person is like, okay, yeah, this is a keeper. But this little feminist power thing going on, oh, I'm an independent black woman, I'm a queen, I'm a this. You too much of that and you just mess it all up. You playing so many games that all of a sudden, that special person that you could have had is now gone. Adios. Vámonos. Your feminist power done brought him in and got rid of him. I'm independent. I'm a Nubian queen. Well, last time I checked, you can't be a queen without a king, baby. King makes a queen, but a queen don't have to exist for a king to be a king. Let's remember that. See, that's order. You only become a queen when you've been designated one by the king. That's the top of the rule. The archive, the top of the power. And a lot of people hate to hear that, but again, you take this feminism and you take it so serious that you let a good man come and go. You lose him. You had him in your hand and all of a sudden, gone. Feminism. So a lot of times we got to be very, very careful how we address the gift that God places on your lap. God blesses people through people, and we have to understand that. If it's marriage that you want, people, you got to take chances. You have to learn how to trust all over. I don't want to trust. I didn't want to trust. Somebody said relation. I was like, get out of here. I put the cross up. I'm just sprinkling garlic on him like a vampire. Man, kryptonite. I'm telling you. People would be like, yo, how you doing, Pastor? I'd be like, I know I'm crazy. Don't pay me no mind. I act a fool. Absolutely. You guys are running off good men. And you don't think so because you're comfortable. You're comfortable in your skin. You're comfortable in your rooms. You're comfortable with your jobs. You've made what you're doing your life. Good people are hard to come by. People that are equally yoked with you are very, very hard to come by. People in the church, I'll say it again, stay out of folk business. How do you expect these people to get to know and date each other and get married and you do not allow them to date? You got a problem with the gentleman saying, hey, I'm interested. If you see him speaking to her after church, you have a problem. Mind your business. If you see her giving him her number or vice versa, you have a problem. Now you judgmental and you begin to criticize them. But you want them to get married, right? They can't hang out unless they marry. How are they supposed to get married if you have a problem with them even getting to know each other? God forbid you see them walking at the movies together and holding hands and starting to really feel each other. Mind your business. Let people date. That's how marriages happen. That's how families happen. Instead of you allowing Christ to step into somebody's family and become their foundation, you want to be their foundation. You want to tell them who's right, who's wrong, who's good for them, who's bad for them, who loves God, who doesn't. How do you know who loves God? This person may even love God more than you. They just don't know how to show it. That's how it works. We've been on here for a while now. We've been on here approximately an hour, 6 minutes. Just want to let you guys know, you got to get to a point where you let people live. If you can't find somebody that you can establish relationship goals with, then you're wasting your time with who you're messing with. But if you can see yourself establishing relationship goals and this person sees themselves establishing relationship goals with you too, establishing a future, give it a try. Give it a try. It's not every day you're going to meet someone that really wants to know you for who you are. Yeah. Especially if you meet a person that loves God, wants to love you. It's chasing love, keyword. This is what God is all about. He wants to spend time with you. Goes to work, but during lunch break, you're on his mind. She's on your mind. Or he's on your mind. Get off of work and the phone is ringing, and again, they're still on your mind, and the first thing they say is, hey, let's get together, let's go have some food, let's go have some dinner, let's go talk. I want to see your face. This is what God was all about. What happened to that? People skipping dates now. It's all about, hey, what you doing tonight? I just met you today at Walmart. Just like, come through. At the end of the day, all you can say about that is,
Where they do that at?
you got to invest. Invest into that person. Invest some time into getting to know that person. And use your discernment. If the person ain't fitting, Let it go. But don't give up on love, because love won't give up on you, because God never gave up on you. You got to put yourself in a place where you can date and you can turn that dating into a marriage and change the narrative that the world has been proven to be right when we know it's wrong. So, my name is Pastormax, the Pastormax Viana Show. Thank you for joining us today. Sweet sound of Louis Mosley. Put our theme music together. Isn't it beautiful? I'm gonna tell you this. I use this song on my church service. I use this song on my podcast. Girl, I don't know why you saying good night. You're gonna be up working all night. You single, working. That's why you're at home laughing. You ain't fooling nobody, Vic. About good night like she going to sleep. That girl ain't going to sleep. Gotta get on that computer and work. Workaholic. Yeah, I said it. Anyways, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. We do appreciate you. Again, my name is Pastor Max from Ark of Salvation Church. Exactly how to concentrate on these reports. Big, you know what?
Make that make sense.
You know that? And even more than that, you know what? That's how I feel about that, Vicky. Now, I know you are. Appreciate everybody came on tonight. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you again. Thank you for those that actually sent stars. Thank you. We do appreciate you. And like I said yesterday, I'll say it today. My account was hacked. That's why I hadn't been on here in a while. And they had changed my password and all that stuff. I couldn't even retrieve it. I had wrote Facebook, and it was taking them a long time. And I had to create another account. But it was actually kind of cool because, like, in a month, you guys monetized that account. So now I have two Facebook accounts, and they're both monetized. And they're both getting a lot of views. And analytics are up and Facebook is paying. So thank you. And those of you that send your stars and what have you, we do appreciate all of that as well. Everything that you guys send our direction, we always reinvest it back into the Ark of Salvation Church and its ministries and ideas. And we'd like to thank you for that. I'm one of those pastors that when I get involved with something and the Lord tells me to do it, I do it. I don't deviate in that area. Again, this is Pastor Max, the Ark of Salvation Church. This is the Pastormax Show. Again, we will see you on Friday evening about 6, 7 o'clock. We'll be on. I'm not sure if we're going to do it 7 or 6. I'm thinking 6, 6:30, maybe 7, just to make sure people get home. And then we'll start laying out a clear schedule. And Prosperity says she's going back to work. God bless you, girl. Thank you for all you do in the nursing field. Bless your heart. May God bless your hands when you work on anybody's body. All right? Thank you. Again, blessings to all y'all. Sounds of Louis Mosley. You can find it anywhere where music is sold. Peace.